So let's start with ES. Uh, as we have been talking about these levels 40, 30 and 40, 60 as the resistance zone. Today it came down all the way to 40, 30 and started bouncing. So this could go all the way to 42.70. That's a measured move from, this is a measured move from here to here. So that's the target. Now that also what I have been drawing is that this is a head and shoulders pattern right now. So that would be the target for the head and shoulders. From the neckline to the head is the measured move. That's the target. And yeah, let's start with the follow through day before I go here. Are you guys able to see Market Smith or?
Now Market Smith, yeah.
How about now?
Yeah, Market Smith.
Okay, so let's start with NYSE composite, right? So today is day 4 after the bottom. This is what I have been talking for a while. So today, all it has to do is it has to move higher and it has to have more volume than yesterday. That happened here in, it's 1.9455 and this is 9.595. So today we have more volume than yesterday. So that's a follow through day for NYSE. NASDAQ looks the same. NASDAQ composite looks the same. You know, it's higher than yesterday. Let's look at S&P 500. S&P 500 looks the same. So we have follow through in almost, is S&P 500? Yeah.
But in the Nasdaq, the third day was red, right? I think in the S&P also it was red. Like if you see
it that shouldn't matter. I mean, there are only two things that they watch. The first is counting from the bottom and what happened day 4 or later. Day 4 or later. So today is day 4. Generally, I mean, I did not expect that we would get a follow through this fast, but yes, that this is a very good sign. So from the 4th day, once you start counting, when the follow through, the earlier the follow through day happens, the better it is for the market. However, I'll tell you certain things. We have been talking about the three legs that happened in 2018 and everything, right? This is the first leg and this is the second leg. This could the one thing about follow through days is they are good until the low is taken out. Okay, so that what is the low of the low is 38.58. So until that is taken out, this is okay. Generally, we should not see any distribution days. Distribution day is a down day with higher volume in the next 4 or 5 sessions. As long as that happens, I think we are in we will have a smooth sailing. So again, all follow through days does not mean that it's a we have a bottom, but there is a possibility that this is a bottom. We will see where it goes.
this is for the short term, you're saying, right? This is the bottom, not for the long term.
No, we don't know that. That's the thing. That's the thing. This could be the bottom and we could just move to new highs. I mean, nobody knows if this is the bottom or not. You see what I mean? And that's the theory. I mean, anybody who follows O'Neill's work, that's what it indicates, that this could be a possible bottom. And I mean, it happened here, and it failed twice. Okay. This could either move higher or it could fail. Nobody knows. So only thing that, I mean, the best, okay, all the professional investors, whoever follows William O'Neill, what they do is they will start pilot positions from here. Okay, they'll start the pilot positions from here. And if stock starts to work, okay, then they'll start to add more and more. And generally, we will have to see other groups start to perform better. I mean, today semis did good, but let's look at semis. I mean, this looks much similar to the S&P or Nasdaq. What I mean by that is it did not make a higher low yet. None of them did. So we'll going forward, we'll see how the if any groups will do better than this. Let's look at the groups once. That's the 197 groups. That's by ranking. See, so let's see how which ones are on the top. So that's energy. 2 is energy, chemicals, energy, utilities, food, steel, oil, utilities, insurance, aerospace and defense. Hold on, that's 25. Diversified operations, food. See, I mean, right now we don't see any tech at all. Generally, growth should outperform at some point, but so far we are not seeing anything like that. However, what they do is they revise these at the end of Friday. So we'll probably see if there is any big difference on Friday. Yeah, I don't see anything. Yeah, transportation. That's it. I mean, I don't see anything new right now. Still, energy is the top industry group. So that's cool. Any questions in this regard? I mean, this is, I mean, once we start looking at each one of these industry groups, we will know if there is any changes, or if any other industry groups will come or are doing better than the current industry groups that we are going through. Right now, the top 20 is still energy and agriculture or chemicals related. All right, let's go back to. So my point is, so we do have a follow through day, so we can start buying some and see how it works. Right now, they are all still energy and chemicals, so that's what we'll buy and see how it works. And if there is a new industry that starts to do better, we'll probably add them. But we would have to make money in the positions that we are in. So, all right, let's talk about ES, right? So we have this head and shoulders pattern inverted. And as I said, the first level is this 40 to 70. And this also coincides with this level, which is not far, which is about 35 points away. So that's 43.15 or so in ES. Let me draw a line there. So there's not really, I mean, this is still supply, but there is a good possibility that it's going to go all the way to 43.02. And by the time this price moves over there, this green line is the 50-day moving average, which this might come down a little. So I wanted to talk about something else. How we want to see, what kind of move do we want to see right now? If you look at the 20-day, it's still moving this white line. It's still moving lower. Let me change this. So we are still in a, deep downtrend. The 20 is moving lower, 50 is moving lower, and this is still flattening. Okay, flattening to, this is 200 to moving lower. Now, one of the reasons I got, I mean, I did not put a lot of money into it. I sold some puts and used that money, to buy calls. So look at how 50 is turning around. 20 already did. This is the low for 20. So this is turning around. 200 is still moving lower. So we want to see this happen to the moving averages in ES. And this will happen. I mean, if this starts to move higher, first the 20 will move around, then the 50 will move around. So while the 50 is moving lower, there is a good possibility as soon as it hits 50, it's going to come down. And, that could be a shorter term pullback too. So what I mean by that is market could go all the way here. Okay. And again, I wouldn't know if this would happen, but that would make a lot of sense logically. And it would come back to 41.36. This is assuming that we have hit a bottom and this moves higher, and that would be your another head and shoulders pattern where this is a shoulder, this is your head, and that's your shoulder. So in all these scenarios, the least amount of move that S&P has to do or ES has to do is to go to that 4270 or 4300 range, or test that 50-day moving average. Let's look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ also looks the same. Hourly chart. So that's your shoulder, shoulder, head, that's your neckline. The reason I'm doing this is, so that you guys can do the same and figure out what, or replicate what I'm doing. And the target would be around, what is that? 13,400 for NQs. I mean, all the charts look similar. See, I mean, you have this 13,543. That's your resistance level, and the same as ES. This will come down and probably, hit this 13,500 level by the time the price moves higher. So we will see if this pattern would emerge or not. Okay. Today, Russell was very, very strong, but it is the weakest of all. I mean, I think it was more than 30% from the highs, from highs to lows. So let's see. There is no shoulder for this one. If you observe, is there? Oh, maybe hold on. Yeah, there is a little bit of shoulder right there, and there is one right there. Generally, in a bull market, the correlation between the stocks and the indices is not a lot. What I mean by that is leaders will lead the rest of the stocks. Some will move higher, some will move lower, and the stronger will move much higher and much faster. But right now, the correlation between the stocks and the indices is almost like 0.9. So the stocks are moving with the market. And that's why I've been focusing a lot on indices to do my trades, even individual trades. So that's 1930, let's say. So that's your Russell. Let's see how far it is from the price. But this is not really symmetrical, but so we have actually that 1923 is an important level because you have all this. That's where it was broken. The support was broken. So it's probably going towards that 1923 level. So these levels would be very important because if if the market, I mean, all these three indices hit those levels at the same time, there's a very high probability that they're going to revert back. If they hit on the same day, they will probably revert back right away, because you will see a lot of people selling into this move. All right. So that's for Russell. Any questions so far? I'll go through the FANG and the. All right. Actually, let's look at the energy stocks first. So we got into this ExxonMobil today. So while the market is just having the follow through day, the stocks that are hitting new highs are the leaders. That's, I mean, it's probably the easiest thing to understand, is that whatever is hitting highs today are the leaders. So we have that Exxon. I mean, we have plenty of stocks. We have Devon Energy hitting new high. We have Occidental Petroleum hitting new high today. Chevron hitting a new high today. What else was there? What about CF? CF is not there yet. Valero, yeah, it is hitting a new high. So all of them are mostly energy. So I mean, without energy, there is no way you're gonna make money, without a lot of volatility. Let's.
So KP, you get this new highs list from the toss, right?
No, I mean, these are the ones that we are trading. I mean, because I'm trading every day. However, you do have something called right here. Let me show you.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, in public. But I mean, we are trading every day, so certain things you will not miss. It says new yearly highs.
Yeah.
So.
But do we have that per industry, like the new highs?
No, not with the industry. However, in this one, Market Smith, not just the new highs, but what I watch here is something called RS line new high. Okay, that actually gives you, most of the time this one actually, I mean, this is how I got the TDW today to trade. I mean, it had the highest volume yesterday, and I had this on my charts, and once it started breaking out of the consolidation, I got in. So when is the 16.7? Oh, that's the end of. So yeah, after this consolidation, once it started breaking higher, I mean, the volume was so low, and there were, I think I got in at 25.90. Yeah, this is where I got in. So, and then these new highs, or even, new highs with higher volume, that gives you, especially in market like this, everybody's going after these charts stocks because they are the easy ones to get into. So there is a lot of institutional sponsorship in a stock like that, which is going into new highs with the, and this one, it says the largest volume since base. So it has the largest volume since this space started forming. So, well, I mean, if you look at it, this is highest volume since, how much was the volume? Let's see. 1.177. So it's highest since, whatever we see, it's the highest so far. So, all right. By the way, so I go through this list almost every day. That's one of the things I do. Two lists that I watch every day before I go to bed is watch the new RS RS line new high, and also this one, which is up on volume. However, I do this, the highest monthly RS rating, and also I do the biggest volume movers for the day. That's how I actually got into some of this GLBE. I mean, it is crazy that it has the most volume from the bottom of the, I think we should probably get back to Thinkorswim there. I mean, it looks amazing, and I got a little bit of I mean, some options for it, and they went up 50% in less than an hour or so. But I mean, it was a very small position. It did not make a huge difference, but I wanted to test it out. So look at the volume. That's the IPO volume. Okay. And this is probably double the IPO volume right now. IPO is when you have the most volume the first few days, but this has the highest volume ever. And what I've seen is somebody, I cannot remember who that is, but in yesterday's 13F positions that I posted, somebody bought GLBE big time, and I was surprised. And it's one of the top investors. So I'm guessing they are putting a lot more money right here. And we have this downtrend for GLBE. If that's broken, this could go to 29 easily. So that's almost 50% move, So I don't know if that's going to go, but it makes a lot of sense for it to go there. So we'll see.
But in the market, Smith, right, KP?
Yeah.
I do know that. Like, I think you have already said, like, you look at that RS 3 month, but you don't take, like, if you sort that.
Yep.
If you sort that, and then if you get the 99.
Yep.
So like in this, right? So you didn't get into alpha or HNR block today.
Why? I did not. See. These will give me an idea of which one to buy. However, I still need to see the pattern. And if I like the pattern, I would get into it. Actually, you know what? AMR looks really good because of the highest volume now. The volume today is what? 1.6 million. And we don't see 1.6 million, since May at least, right?
So basically, in addition to this RS, you are looking at volume.
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, this thing up on volume right here.
Yeah.
That's what this is. So if you have high RS plus, if you have high volume, that's all you need, to trade. The only thing is, I'm not a big trader of, bounces off of 50-day moving average. At least, that's not what I do. I like to get into trades. I mean, this is a very small, this is not really even a base. We'll probably see a base forming right here. However, I want to look at this one. So on this day would be a good day to get in. But again, this is a very small base. Look at this one. This one is a very big base, and well, it came down, and again it broke above that 73 level. So this would be the day to buy. So I mean, the basis, the cup and handle pattern are probably the best for, for us to get long in a bull market. And then in 2020, once the market starting moving higher, there were plenty of these, and then some of the handles were so small and there was no time. I mean, you just have to buy after a couple of days because they were consolidating for a couple of days and then breaking out. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
So, I mean, I have a bunch of them, if you see here, RS near 5%, these are the ones that I see over the weekend, but on a day-to-day basis, yeah, I would like to watch. And then while the market is happening too, right? And upon volume and also the new high.
In this one,
yeah, go ahead.
RS 3-month and RS rating, what's the difference between those two?
This is the 12-month. That's the
12 months. Okay.
So this number that you see 99, that's for so RS rating is basically comparing this stock against all the stocks in their database. So they only compare in for the last 12 months. But
so when you say all the time, sorry to interrupt, but when you say all the stocks, like you mean S&P and tech and everything?
All the stocks in the market.
Okay.
Yep. So this was what happens is if there is a stock that just starts to come out, and let's see how H&R block is. Yeah, see, I mean, for this one, if you look at it, right, the RS is 97 here. Okay, but well, I mean, this is not the best example, but once this starts to move higher from let's say it has been going down for a while, and if it starts to move higher, it won't show up in this RS rating. It will first show up in the last 3 months because it's only comparing for the last 3 months. So this way you won't miss anything that just starts to come out because of whatever reason, especially drug stocks. That happens a lot because because of some new drug that they got approved. Generally they will show up there.
Yes, since you're at H&R block now, so this looks good, right? Up on the volume and.
But the thing is that I've been watching this for 4 days. The thing is, a little bit of consolidation would have been better. The only problem with this one is I would have probably bought it at 28.50 or 29, but my stop would be all the way down to 25. That's one of the reasons why I look for consolidations like this, so that I know where my stop would be. Okay. And I don't want to give up, this huge move. And then we were in a bear market. Look at, I know I'm still surprised what they're doing. Okay. And I was looking at their weekly chart, and look at that. They are near their all-time highs.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely amazing. However, if you keep watch on this one, at some point it's gonna either move lower and probably form another base, and when it breaks out of that base, it's the time to buy.
Mm-hmm. And one last question on the RS, like, is 3 months is the lowest one, or do we have 1 month?
Yeah, this is all they have. That's 3 months is the lowest here.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
KP, can we talk about whenever you're done with your topic, right? Can we talk about UPST?
Yes, sure. All right. We haven't started looking at the individual tickers yet, so yep, I'll write it down. I know somebody was asking about UPST when I started talking about GLBE today. We can go through that right now.
Yeah, so it went to 26 and then it started bouncing back. Now I think it's in 46 or 47. Yeah. Does that mean that now it's time to mean, can we add here? Can we start a position, or maybe we can add to existing position here?
That's hard to, I'll tell you what, as long as we know what our stop would be, right now the stop would be the opening of today, which is at 38. I mean, you don't want a 33%, 23% stop. So you need to figure, I mean, for stocks like this, actually, let's look at the options. For me, I mean, if you really want to get into something like this, options are up. Oh my God, those are horrible volatility. I mean, that happens. If a stock moves 23% in a single day, you're paying a lot for the premium. So you are either paying a lot for the premium, or you are, you will have a much deeper stop. So you could probably get in here with 43 stop, but you could get stopped out really fast. That's the problem.
Okay. So today's market, right? I know. Do you think it's a short covering rally, or do you think that it's been oversold? Now it's time for it to go up. So what is your call on that? Like, what do you think have happened in the market last 2 days?
It's very hard to say if it's a it's a short covering rally, or the buyers got in. But the only thing that I am going to do is that we got a follow through day today, which I posted in the trade ideas today. And for us, you buy some here and see where the market goes. As long as the pattern starts to work and we make more money, we get into more trades. It's that straightforward. So, but right now, we have been talking about this for a while. It broke this level, went up, failed, went up, and then we know that once it starts to push the same level again and again, it is gonna go through it, and that's what happened today. And then this is probably very straightforward, pattern that we have been talking about. And yeah, as I was saying this today in the morning, that if it breaks this 40-30, and moves lower, that would be the end of this move. But it bounced off of there and it starts moving higher. And market for me is like it's a developing story. And so far, I know that this low is secure. That's all I know so far based on this. So if it breaks this 40-30 and moves lower, I know that there is some trouble in the market. And market is moved based on so many forces, or so much news, or a lot of things could derail this thing. But so far, we know that it is starting to move higher. And that's our first target. So I'm going to do some more research, and I'm going to figure out what to add tomorrow. And then I was saying before you joined that so far energy is the only thing that makes a lot of sense. And I wanted to talk to among tech, right? This is the only stock that looks really, really good. I mean, while the entire NASDAQ was down, look at what it's doing at the Broadcom. Okay. That's your January low. Okay. And made a higher low. And here it did not even break this one. It made a higher low and it made a higher low again. So for some reason, this is very, very, very strong. And this could be your leader now. However, it needs to break this 626 level. So it broke this downtrend. And if it breaks this downtrend and starts moving higher, and this could be your leader in the semis to watch. Again, I need to go back and check all the semis if I'm missing anything. But so far, this is the only thing that in the tech that looks really, really good. Let's look at the PNW. That was the previous leader. Yeah, look at that. I mean, it isn't doing anything. I mean, market was on this day, market hit a bottom, and look at what it's doing so far, nothing. So we have earnings in 2 days. So that might trigger something, we'll see. All right. Any questions, or I'll go through these tickers and we'll talk about them. Any questions right now so far? All right. So let's start with NVIDIA. So as I was saying, okay, this is one pattern to remember. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was saying that this day was could be a doji for S&P, but it did not end up being a doji. But difference between this one and a doji is, this candle would have been a single line. Wherever starts would have ended. So, and remember this pattern, whenever the market moves lower and you have only single candle here, and the next day, if it starts higher, or, if the entire day stays above this candle, that means that this is way too oversold right here. I'll show you something else. I've seen this also during 2020. Where is that? I mean, those sellers were selling at a very, very, very wrong time. Look at this one. This one is even bigger. I mean, they sold a lot and it opened right here and it did not look back. What does that mean? I mean, it started here and did not come lower. I mean, at least during the last 3 days or 3 days ago, we'll compare both of them. So it started here and started moving higher. That's it. And it never looked back. And this could be what's happening right now. Most of the dojis are also, if you go back and look at the take on the market, that's what I was talking about. Dojis are where, I think this is called spinning top or spinning bottom, whatever. The idea is that there are no more sellers here below this level. And you got either short covering and anybody who have been selling here, especially the futures or whatever, they start covering the next day. And anybody who is short now in any of these days, they have to cover, okay, as soon as it breaks the downtrend, or my point is spinning top or a doji at the bottom is a good possibility of having a short-term bottom, or that could become a long-term bottom in case of 2020 loss. And I use this in many cases. And what I mean by that is, look at NVIDIA today. So there was some selling here and it opened above this, all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. So all these guys, if anybody who has sold in these 6 days, they are all wrong. And it did not come down much, into this range. It came in a little bit and it started moving higher. So this one will probably move all the way to 200 next. And if it breaks the 200 level, it will probably move much higher. So let's just say 200 and 208 are the next levels for NVIDIA. Let's see what's here. And the other thing is, now these the importance of these are waning right now. The reason is that market has already been to these levels. Now the levels here are more important than levels here. That's 183 and it's 204, let's say. Yeah, 208 is okay, I guess. It was making a higher low right here when compared to this one. Okay, AMD did even better, obviously, right? I mean, it had a big bounce on the earnings day. It came back, undercut the lows, and snapped back right away. This is a double bottom. This is definitely a double bottom, and we have four up days. I generally don't like to buy. I mean, you could probably buy these patterns with a very low risk. I mean, if you buy as it's testing this 84, you'll probably, if it closes below this level, which is 83 level, then you would get out. So probably give or take 2% or so. But generally, I don't buy these anymore. I want to look for the ones that made a higher low and starts moving higher. So now this one, AMD, that 99.70 is your first stop. So it could come back to 99.70 and bounce. And these pullback buys, I mean, coming to the support and bouncing are very powerful when you have already missed the move. I don't know if it's coming back or not. I'm going to just put an alert. But I'm still not, I'm not buying these kind of moves anymore. So this one I bought today and I posted, right? So this was your, that's 28.17 is your breakout level. And it came back to the 28, 21, whatever. And then it started bouncing. So this is a good one to buy. And if it breaks and closes below this 28.21, you get out with a very small loss. And the same thing happened with Bolero today. That's multi-year highs, right? And it broke that high. It came back, tested to that high and started moving higher. Let me see the 5 minutes. Look at that. It's as soon as it opened, it started selling down, came to that level and started bouncing. I mean, there are plenty of buyers. It means they're just waiting for the pullback and they got in. So this one still is good. AMD, and we talked about Avago, LRCX. Yeah, we talked about this. This one, the trend lines are moving, turning around. The 20 is turning around. It already turned around, and the 50 is about to. So my guess is the next move is to about 575, and by the time most probably the 200-day will move lower. So next, Expedia. Okay. Wow, this really got sold off. Yeah, this doesn't look good at all. Even if it bounces, it will probably come back and test that 150. I mean, this is so far away. 155 is probably over 20% away, right? So, and I don't see any, yeah, this one doesn't look good at all. Let's look at. So if we think this is your shoulder, that's your shoulder and that's your head. Let's see if it has already retraced or got its measured move. Yeah, this could move much lower. This could go all the way down to, oh my God, it's 80 bucks, 85 bucks.
In Expedia?
Yeah. Well, again, it depends on the. Well, the question is who would buy it now? That's the question, because anybody who has been long since 137, which is August of last year, they are all wrong right now. Let's look at the V. Yeah, we do also have this. And in a way, this also makes sense, because if the inflation keeps moving higher, yeah, the travel would go down. Right now, it's really, the prices are up like 20% than usual, it seems, in the last 1 month, 20 or 22%. So yeah, and then this gap will probably be closed, which is 106. That's another. Well, I'm not going to trade this one. Yep. All right, let's go to Airbnb. Yeah, this is hitting a new lows. So yeah, I don't see. This looks same as Expedia. This one, my pre-IPO price that I got into was around $58. So, and this could probably go down all the way there. Who knows? I think the $60 was their IPO price, I think. So yeah, it could go all the way down to the IPO price. And many of the companies who go public and open much higher, they all in a bad market, they all go to their IPO price at the least.
How much did we close today, KP?
Which one?
Airbnb and Expedia. Where did they close today?
117 and for Airbnb and Expedia at 122. Yep. Marriott. Yeah, I mean, none of them are bouncing. We had a follow through day and they look horrible. Hilton, same. Okay, we are already seeing the UPSG. But I mean, if there is regarding UPSG, if there is a strong move in UPSG, this might probably, there is a huge gap right now, and this thing really moves a lot. So this could probably move all the way to 70 or 76. That's a lot. I mean, $30 for a $46 stock. Facebook. Yeah, this is also forming a, I don't know if I would call this a head and shoulders yet, but it made a higher low. It needs to break this trend line first. This trend line first. So the first 215 is probably 215 to 217 is the first target. Apple has been weak. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Apple hasn't doing so well so far, but Apple has been weak. It will probably come back and test at 138 again. Or the target would be 152 if it starts moving lower or continues moving lower. Amazon did pretty good at the end. But again, when compared to this big downtrend, I need to get rid of all these lines. So the first, it's probably going to that 25-20 level. Let me get rid of these. We don't need those anymore. See, especially the stocks like Amazon, a lot of people who have bought while it's going down, they are all going to be the sellers as soon as it becomes break even for them. They are going to get out. Plenty of people, plenty of sellers in this range. We're done with that. Google. Google actually looks better than many of them because it's been consolidating for 27, that's almost 20 days. 15 trading days. So, and I think it looks like it also broke the downtrend. Yeah, Google actually looks better among all the FANGs. We could probably sell some options in Google below 2200. Well, that's all the list I have. Anything else you want me to look at, guys?
Hey, KP,
Yep.
you said the Apple is weak, right? So can the market go up when the or while the Apple is weak?
Well, I mean, market went down while Apple was strong. So yeah, it's a possibility. Yeah. I think it's about 6% of S&P 500 right now. Apple is. So
Or is it only 6%? Okay.
well, 6 is a lot for entire Apple, right? Yeah. I mean, the whole energy sector is only 4 or 4.5%. Okay, Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts moving sideways here, and if it breaks, I mean, I don't see anything, any good pattern for the upside so far for Bitcoin, but I will keep you posted right now. If it breaks that, I mean, it broke the 2,900 level, so 29,000 level just for a day, but it hasn't bounced yet. But if it makes sense after staying away from 29,000 since, when is that? July of last year. It makes a lot of sense for it to bounce and possibly go to that 37 or 38K, or at least 32 or 34. So those are the levels, 32K, 34K, and probably then 38K. That also depends on how the market is gonna, I mean, this thing has a lot of correlation right now with NASDAQ. So if the NASDAQ continues to move higher, this will probably move higher too. So if we covered that, we'll also cover Ethereum. Yeah, this also looks the same. However, this actually, the support is much better. I mean, it did not undercut that. So
And you said you don't have Bitcoin, right?
no, I sold all of them.
Okay. So what do you think of crypto? Like, I mean,
I
for
have
the
no clue.
short
I
term?
mean, the thing is that, so while everything was coming down, I did not sell thinking that it could be, I mean, the crypto 30%, 40% moves happen, in a week or so. And I thought, well, that was the idea, is that it's going to be inflation hedge. No, it's not. We know that now it's not. So unless we see a pattern like this, I'm not touching it, at least not now. All right. Anything else, guys?
If we can we look at GLB? I don't know if you covered it.
Which one is that?
GLB.
Oh, yeah, I did, but yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I did, but I'll do it again. Well, what I was saying is today it had the highest volume day ever for the stock. So there is a good chance that some big investor is getting into it. You know what? Let me look at who that guy is. So I posted the 13F yesterday, and one of the guys, they were buying GLBE. What is that? Oh, Druckenmiller. Okay. So he bought 0.58 million shares. I don't know when he bought, but this is before March, right? So let's look at that. He might be buying more of this. I think this is an Israel company. Let me check that.
Yes, it's an Israel one.
Yeah, Israel going that go direct to consumer cross-border e-commerce solutions. Okay. So, I mean, whenever you have a volume like today, I mean, I bought some 2250 in June expiry. I mean, very, very small position. I never did this before. But what I have seen is this could, well, I mean, guessing because we have a follow through day now, I would think if the market starts to go higher, this could go to 29 and probably to 33, or actually 33 is not important anymore. So this could go to 36 we will see. I mean, it may not be a straight line when you have that kind of supply, but move towards 29 makes a lot of sense from here. Yeah, Druckenmiller, and it's before March, right? So, and he bought it. He bought it at a much higher price. I mean, he bought it about 29. So, but it's only 0.5 million shares. So maybe it's not a lot. Anything else? Let me stop recording.